the champagne pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up.
Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Klein Connect here, along with head coach Scott Langer, of course. Coach, a big weekend here at the Odia, sweeping the rival Bismarck Bobcats, and well, a lot can be taken from these wins. I thought Saturday night's win especially really showed some maturation and growth as a whole in the team, because they were able to come from behind and didn't give up, came out strong in the third. So a lot of good things as a weekend overall. The combined games, I guess, what do you take away?
Well, I just think we took a big step in the right direction. A lot of our improvements showed. Starting on Friday night, our specialty teams, pretty much won the game for us, which we've been struggling in that area, and our guys just picked up on what we worked on during the week, and they did a good job. And obviously Saturday we were short-staffed. We dropped 2 players early in the first period, and I think to be able to come back with such a short lineup and win that game, I think it's just it really shows you the steps that we're taking as a team.
Without a doubt. Well, you talked kind of a little bit there about special teams and 3 power play goals. The kill was strong. Kill strong again Saturday night. I think there were 4 5-on-3s over the course of the weekend, and 3 of them were killed successfully, if that's accurate. But either way, the kill was very strong as well. What do you attribute that increase, I guess? The kill's been strong, but the power play certainly a big night, Friday night for sure. And you mentioned it's showing from the work that's being done during the week. Any other changes or anything that you guys have done to it?
Well, I mean, we certainly we change things based on what opponent we're playing. We'll have a wrinkle here and there, but you look at the night Carson Dimoff had. He really started that the power play being what it was, with a couple of his utilizing his vision and getting Knowlton open, and really got our guys going right away and put them on their heels. And I think when you have players step up like that, and get momentum swaying, in our favor, I think good things happen. But our guys, they want to learn, and that's the big thing, is they don't come to work every day, thinking they know it all. They want to get better, they want to learn, and they want to be successful. I think that's a recipe, for success in the long run.
Yeah, without a doubt. What about chemistry? Do you start to see some chemistry in some of the lines and stuff and between certain players? I noticed Dimoff and Bossert seem to really be working well together and kind of setting the table for one another.
Yeah, I mean, we try to create some of that, but depending on who we're playing, we might have to mix up some of the lines a little bit and create some depth in different areas. But there's definitely some chemistry, and it's about the time that you're going to start seeing some guys really play well with one another. And I think this weekend showed some of that. Obviously with Knowlton and Carson on the power play, you seem to really feed off one another and enjoy doing it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked a little again about the special teams on Friday night. Saturday night, team comes out and it just felt a little bit sluggish perhaps, and Bismarck felt a little bit sharp. Now again, that's just my perspective, but it just seemed like they were just a notch sharper than they were the night before, and the Wings maybe just a little bit flatter than the night before. But as the game went on, it really seemed to turn around, and then the final probably 12 minutes of the third period, your guys just poured it on and made it a very exciting game, of course, going into overtime, and then Joey Strada winning it in overtime. So a huge win for the fans and for your team. What does this mean for the players as as we talked about a little bit, that maturation process? I know earlier on Friday night, I think it was, you talked about by the time you get to that Christmas break that this is going to be a very much improved team. Is this a bit of a measuring stick, perhaps, or some kind of a gauge from a weekend like this and the way they were able to bounce back?
Well, I mean, I think it shows that they're capable.
Yeah.
And when they play like that, like they did on the weekend, it raises the bar. And now they have something they have to reach and to continue to increase on and keep performing. You always want to raise the bar, especially as a coach. You want to see the players do that because you can push them even farther and give them a lot more, and they can handle more. So, like I said, our guys know that they can play with anybody in the division. I think that's a huge mental advantage,
right.
But they know they have to do things completely right in order to be successful against them. And we've been talking about that, and like you said, we had to be perfect on Friday night, and our special teams were, and on Saturday night, You know, when they come out and they jump one of your player and one of your other top players gets hit from behind through the boards, you know, you're going to be a little sluggish when you expect to be up on the power play and you're not. You're actually killing penalties. But our guys dealt with that adversity, and they actually just kept improving throughout the game. And like you said, they came out in the third period and it was all us.
Yeah. Yeah, huge momentum swing there. And again, you know, I just kept thinking, actually, even going back to the last game up in Bismarck, I remember just thinking to myself that this is an improved team. You can see it. You know, it's just, and I guess I'm a little surprised at and I should knock on wood or something, but a little surprised at how you can actually, you know, see the markers, or the different changes as things go along, and how this team is coming together. And I think it's pretty certainly a testament to you and Coach Bone and the hard work that the young men are putting in. Let's see, one other question I wanted to ask was about in-game adjustments. Somebody brought that up to me actually Saturday night, and they were asking about how you as a coach and as a coaching staff, how you're making adjustments on the fly. How do you see a situation that needs to be changed up? And because it did seem like you were making in-game adjustments, or was that not the case?
No, it is, and you know, it's tough to answer that question actually, because it's all based on instincts. You know, a lot of it's on instincts, and you know, you look at Bismarck. They came out and they, you know, Saturday night, and they put a little wrinkle to their power play. You know, they started, you know, putting a player behind the net, and just little things like that. That, you know, I think a little experience helps in that area. Being able to adjust, enjoy adjusting, and you know, I don't know. I mean, our guys are. Our staff likes to be on top of it, I guess, and you know, we're always watching, you know, to see where we can improve on during the course of a game, and to give our players a little added advantage.
Sure.
But you know, it's all based on what the opposition's doing, and you know, it's also, I guess I should say, it's based on, you know, if we're just not doing something well, you know, we're going to try to find something that does work for us, because we want our guys to be successful. Their job is to play, and our job as a staff is to lay it out for them.
Yep. Well, absolutely. Well, that's the weekend, folks. A sweep of the Bismarck Bobcats. Big wins, lots of goals to talk about. We can go, you know, show you some of those. Want to have some congratulations, I guess, coming up here in just a bit. Also, we'll look at what the week will bring, and of course, the Minot Minotauros once again this coming weekend. That all coming up when we return after these words from our sponsor.
Let's make a taco. No, seriously. Start with a tortilla, soft tortilla. Warm it, kiss it. Don't kiss it. Chicken? How about tequila lime chicken? Now we're cooking. Slice this, peel that, snip those. Salsa? Verde. Cheese? Cotija. Oh, forgot to mention. Guac. That's better. See, anyone can make a taco, but we're not anyone. We're Qdoba, and these are knockout tacos. Qdoba Mexican Eats. Choose flavor.
Welcome back to Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht along with head coach Scott Langer. The weekend that was, two big wins here at the ODI Center against the Bismarck Bobcats. We want to say, and we kind of talked about it already a little bit, but Carson Dimoff with a huge weekend, and congratulations to him, as it's been announced that he is the Central Division Star of the Week. So congratulations to Carson. Had a really solid weekend of hockey. Coach, and we've kind of, maybe this is a bit of a dead horse. We've talked about preparation for teams and so on. But how does the week line up for practice? You know, last week you talked about working on work, and it seemed to definitely work. What about this week of practice? Well, what do you do to get ready for the Minotauros?
Well, we're going to stick with the same game plan as far as continuing our work ethic. It's a little different this week because, you know, early on we're a little banged up on personnel, so you have to tweak things a little bit. You can't go, you know, certain things you just can't do, and certain things you have to do. But you know what? Again, you know, our last game against Minot wasn't very successful. You know, so we have to work on some things that we can have success against them, and we'll do that through the course of the week. And you know, it's always nice after a weekend like that, because your guys they come into practice with a lot of energy. And you really have to, as a coach and a coaching staff, you really have to utilize that energy and just really try to maintain it and sustain it throughout the week.
Sure. Well, we talked, of course, Toros coming up this coming weekend. I want to mention, well, the Toros are back in action here in the OD the following weekend, which is November 12th. And the Camp Dreammaker Jersey Auction event is on November 12th. I want to make sure I mention that. as Wings, of course, wearing those Camp Dreammaker jerseys over the weekend, and those are game worn and will be auctioned off. So, and all proceeds going to Camp Dreammaker. Coach, you know, we talked a little bit about the chemistry and so on that is going on with the different players and how you're starting to see that. You know, another thing that I wanted to ask, as the season goes along, where do you see, and you again, we kind of touched on this, and I don't want to backtrack too far, but you touched on the Christmas break. Do you have certain goals and guidelines that you have in mind and in place for where this team needs to be?
For sure. I mean, our biggest one is always to be the most improved team by Christmas. You know, we did touch on that, but you know, it's kind of been a recipe for myself and my staff, and you know, we've been there. And when we get there at Christmas time, and we are one of the most improved teams, our finish tends to be strong. And I think, especially in this division this year, you know, you're going to have a strong finish to make the playoffs. And our goal at the end of the day is to make the playoffs and give ourselves an opportunity to win the division.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, big weekend with Minot coming up. Those games can be heard on 94.1 The Rock and on fasthockey.com, which is becoming Hockey TV, by the way. I don't know when I'm supposed to start calling it that officially, but that is going to be the case. We'll have to transition into that. Games can be seen at Buffalo Wings and Rings here in Aberdeen. And following that again, November 12th, against Minot here at the Odie, Camp Dreammaker jersey auction. So put those dates on your calendar, folks. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this week's Wings Weekly. We'll see you next week.